Good morning, boys and girls. I hope you're doing very well. I am doing very well. I'm so excited to share this Sunday school lesson with you. Well, last week we learned that God chose Saul as king for Israel, and God spoke to Samuel to tell him who Saul was so that he could meet him. And we see Samuel meet Saul, and Samuel anoints Saul as king over Israel. Well, today we're going to see something similar happening. So Saul will be anointed as king, but this time in front of lots and lots and lots of people. Okay, so of course this story comes from the Bible. We call it God's Word because God is speaking to us whenever we open our Bibles and we read from it. And it's also history. It's not just a story. It's history, which means it really happened. So we're going to look at the book of 1 Samuel again, chapter 10, and we will read from verse 17 until 25. 1 Samuel 10, verse 17 to 25, and we read out of the New International Reader's Version, which you can find on the YouVersion app. So let's listen. Samuel sent a message to the Israelites. He told them to meet with the Lord at Mizpah. He said to them, "The Lord is the God of Israel." He says, "Israel, I brought you up out of Egypt. I saved you from their power. I also saved you from the power of all the kingdoms that had treated you badly. But now you have turned your backs on God. He saves you out of all your trouble and suffering. In spite of that, you have said, 'We refuse to listen. Place a king over us.' So now gather together to meet with the Lord. Do a tribe by tribe and family group by family group." Then Samuel had each tribe of Israel come forward. The tribe of Benjamin was chosen by casting lots. Next, he had the tribe of Benjamin come forward, family group by family group. Matra's group was chosen. Finally, Saul, the son of Kish, was chosen. But when people looked for him, they realized he wasn't there. They needed more help from the Lord. So they asked him, "Has the man come here yet?" The Lord said, "Yes. He has hidden himself among the supplies." So they ran over there and brought him out. When he stood up, the people saw that he was a head taller than any of them. Samuel spoke to all the people. He said, "Look at the man the Lord has chosen. There isn't anyone like him among all the people." Then the people shouted, "May the king live a long time." Samuel explained to the people the rights and duties of the king who ruled over them. He wrote them down in a book. He placed it in front of the Lord in the holy tent. Then he sent the people away. He sent each of them to their own homes. Okay, so Saul gets chosen as king publicly this time in front of a lot of people, but we read something interesting in the beginning about what God said to Samuel, and that Samuel should tell that to all the people. He says, "You have turned your backs on God." God has saved you out of Egypt, out of slavery, and yet you don't want God as king. You want something else. You want another king. You want to be like all the other nations. Okay, and boys and girls, we actually read something similar in the New Testament. There's a book called Romans, and in chapter 1 it says that we exchange the truth of God for a lie, and that we worship created things instead of the Creator. And this is exactly what is happening here. They don't want God as their king, so they want to exchange the true thing of God for something that's a lie, something that will not save. And we know that it's only God that can save us through Jesus Christ, through his death, through his resurrection. And it was the same with the Israelites. Only God could rescue them from their slavery in Egypt, and yet they wanted somebody else. They didn't want God, who was almighty and all-powerful. And then, when eventually they choose Saul, they realize he isn't there, and they're trying to look for him, and they find out that he's actually been hiding. Now, I wonder if you thought, as I did, what kind of king will he be if he has been hiding away from the people at the time where they would publicly announce him? And I'm sure he was very nervous, and he was overwhelmed, and he was scared, because he is only a human. He is not God. He can't really rescue the people from their biggest problem. But he is hiding. He is hiding away at the time when he knows that he will be publicly announced. So it shows us just again that this is simply a man. Saul may be taller than most people, he might be stronger than a lot of people, but still he is not God. God is God, and God is king over the whole universe and over all of us as well. Well, that's it for today, boys and girls. I will see you next week. Bye-bye.